technologically advanced CIE. This can range from bureaus that locally design, test and manufacture high precision components at.
Good afternoon, I'm Yatin Kakotkar, Vice President, Goa Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We have just heard the Union Budget presented by our Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. On behalf of Goa Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I would like to congratulate the Finance Minister for presenting a budget which is focused on economic development, growth and achieving the goal of Viksit Bharat by 2047. It's a very progressive budget. It is a budget which is very confident budget, which recognizes that India has now arrived on a sustainable growth rate. In previous years, our growth rate was less than 6%, but now in the last couple of years, we have achieved a growth rate of 7% plus. And this budget exudes the confidence that we are going to maintain this growth rate. I fully commend and appreciate the focus of the budget on infrastructure development, on capacity building, on recognizing the MSME sector as a very vital engine of growth of India's economy. I also appreciate and commend that the budget has realized that the cities can be engines of growth also. So far the focus has been on states, but we are taking this one step ahead by recognizing that cities also are engines of growth. I also, the focus on tourism is also to be supported and lauded, because for too long India has sort of underutilized its tourism potential while our neighbors in other countries have fully leveraged the tourism potential. The budget recognizes that tourism is a very important sector of the economy and has taken announced a lot of steps in this budget to support tourism. This is a budget which is sort of progressive and going to leverage the strengths of the budget. Now, for example, for promoting MSMEs, the focus is on now creating MSME champions. They have announced a rupees 10,000 growth fund to promote MSME sector. There is also a lot of focus on creating infrastructure, focus on creating industrial corridors along the east coast, developing dedicated freight corridors from east to west, developing waterways, developing institutions for developing proposal to restructure the Power Finance Corporation. 200 legacy industrial clusters will be removed, will be sort of revived. 7 high-speed rail corridors to be developed, and rupees 20,000 crores is being allocated to develop waterways. I think all these are going to create a strong infrastructure in our economy, which will help to sustain the growth. It's a very good budget. For Goa, I think now government has announced in the budget they are going to, for example, support high cash value crops around the coastal region, specifically cashew and coconuts. They have also talked about, so that is a very important thing for Goa. Goa is also very strong in cashew nut and coconut, which has been stagnant for many years. But with the help of a double engine government, I am confident, I hope, I expect Goa government will leverage the announcement of the union government and reap some benefits for coconut and cashew nut farming in Goa. Medical tourism is another very important announcement, and Goa should now move into high value added tourism instead of the current tourism, which is sort of leading to over tourism. So this kind, so we expect and we are confident that the Goa government will also work closely with the Indian government to also promote medical tourism in our state. It's a very good announcement, but the Goa government should capitalize on it.
Last year budget गोव्याला काय फायदा झाला होता? Last year budget overall observation करून यावेळेचं budget कसं?
So I think the kind of biggest benefit that we got for the last year's budget was relating to the limit of 12 lakhs. You know, the basic exemption limit was taken to 12 lakhs. Because we are in Goa and there is a section 5A, because we are also governed by the Portuguese civil code, this limit automatically becomes double for Goa. So this was a great benefit where a lot of people did not have to pay the kind of taxes which they were paying in the previous years, which meant that the income remained in their hands, which they could use for consumption, which they could use for education. This was a great kind of a proposal which has really benefited Goa from the last year.
And one more point was that there was a Krushi Yojana which the central government has launched in the last budget, and we have taken it up with the central government, and it was launched I think in Madgaon around 8 months back in Madgaon. So more funds have come for the development of agriculture in Goa. So that was one more advantage.
One more announcement made in the budget which has significance for Goa is to promote fishery industry along the coastal region. So Goa has a lot of potential to benefit from this announcement and the focus of the government. And they've also announced that the customs duty-free import for fishing or fishery industry will be allowed, and the limit will be raised from 1% to 3% of the FOB value. Up to that much we can now increase without paying any duty. So for Goa, the focus on medical tourism, the focus on coconuts, cashew nuts, the focus on fisheries is very, very attractive and very significant. Really congratulate the finance minister and the government is for very sound and prudent overall fiscal management of the country. They have been able to bring down the fiscal deficit to 4.4% for the financial year 26-27. It's a very good step, and it's very important the government is fiscally very conservative, very pragmatic, and they've indicated next year the budget, the fiscal deficit will go down to 4.3%. So that's very good. So the fiscal management is also very strong, very sound and very, very safe. I congratulate the government for that.
In fact, this budget is a takeaway from the past budgets where she focused, the finance minister focused on the growth strategy, development strategy. And this budget also will focus on achieving the goals of Vikasit Bharat 2047. And in that matter, they have given overall placement of funds to all the sectors, right from health, education, infrastructure, tourism, and most important is, there are many schemes which have been launched, and the reforms will continue to happen. Decriminalization of archaic laws will continue to happen. This will bring in ease of administration, ease of business, and also, bring in more investments in the country. Now, as far as Goa is concerned, we need to capitalize on all the schemes that have been mentioned. Especially, there are many areas where, like for example, tourism, building up on iconic structures, building up on upscaling of the youths, training them which is the need of the day, because we need our youths to be trained to project the right way of our culture, our traditions to the people who visit to Goa. And I think these schemes will help our state also to come to terms and deliver the goods in the right manner. So on and all, this budget will definitely point towards the upscaling of our economy to a next level, and which also in the form of they have additional money in their hands, so which they can try to capitalize by building up the infrastructure of the country, and which will help the country to progress. So we welcome it wholeheartedly.
We have to understand, as I'm Dr. Sangam Turade, from the Goa point, from the India point of view, of course, as our esteemed members have already said, but we have to understand, last year government allowed around 12 lakh rupees, I think, per person, it freed up The income this year, the income tax, they have not tinkered with the personal income tax. So as a result, the consumption has gone up, and we are seeing a 7% or 7.4% growth in the Indian GDP. So inflation is still at 2.5%, which is very good. And by driving up consumption is how we are improving the Indian economy. Coming to Goa centric, some of the points have already been elaborated. Tourism using seaplanes is, I think, for the inland tourism is a plus plus. I think 5 regional medical hubs they already mentioned. Upgrading of urban areas, almost 50,000 crore per CR over 5 years, including some temple towns. Coastal cargo movement, I think some a lot of details are yet to come. So we need to see the details, but coastal cargo movement. In health, youth upskilling, so I think few health hospitals here can utilize. Now, a lot depends on private enterprise trying to take use of these schemes which the government is putting out there. High value agriculture, coconut, cashew nut, Bharat Vistar scheme, where AI in agriculture through ICR that can be used. Fisheries has already been mentioned, and yes, National Institute of Hospitality, which will upgrade the existing hotel management institute in Goa. You know, that is a great possibility. Another mention I just heard was orange economy. Now, many of us may not know what orange economy stands. Basically, it's culture, music, tourism, and that kind of area. That is a great area where Goa per se can utilize the orange economy, which can build up the Goan economy per se. Thank you.
Secretary and the chairman of the Taxation Committee of Goa Chamber of Commerce and Industry. There was a lot of anticipation for these budgets, especially looking at the kind of global uncertainties. And we're seeing that there are a lot of positives in this budget. This budget is known as the Reform Express, and the entire, we really welcome this budget because this budget has focused on a lot of factors, especially one relating to reducing the kind of import dependency and championing the MSMEs. As you know, MSMEs are the growth drivers of our economy, and there has also been a very good focus on the MSMEs. One of the ways they have done it is that they have given a lot of focus to TREDS, which is the Trade Receivable Management System. So in this, what happens is whenever MSMEs can enroll on this platform, and they do not have to wait for the funds to be received from the buyer. There is a discounting kind of a method in which they are able to receive the funds much in advance. Now we are seeing that there has been a lot of developments there. The first development is that they have said that as far as the central PSUs who are there, who will be buying from the MSMEs, it is compulsory for them to purchase only from the TREDS platform. This will mean that there will be more money in the hands of the MSMEs, and there will not be any kind of a liquidity crunch. Second, what they have also done is they have tried to integrate the GEMS portal, which is used for purchasing and buying, again, which is a government initiative, and they have tried to integrate it with the TREDS mechanism. The third one is that they have said that the TREDS, whatever receivables will be there, they will be also be termed as asset-backed securities, which means that you will also be able to get more kind of credit facilities on these kind of trade receivables. And fourth, they have also they have also said that now we can take help of professionals like the company secretaries, the chartered accountants, and who will be termed as corporate mitras, who will be able to transition the MSMEs and educate the MSMEs. So this is a fantastic move as far as the MSMEs are concerned. As far as taxation is concerned, there is a very great initiative for the tourism sector, which I believe will be really helpful for Goa. As we are aware that for tourism, whenever you are buying any tour packages, there is a TCS involved, which is the tax collected at source, which was at 5%. This again used to become a big cash flow crunch, especially for the people who would like to take the tour packages, because this would mean that you have to pay certain taxes upfront, and then at the time of your return, this amounts would either be adjusted or you would get a refund based on your computation. This is a great boost to the tourism industry that they have reduced this PCS, which would mean that now there will be more surplus funds with the people to invest in the kind of tour packages, which will again promote the tourism industry. Similar kind of TCS limits, TCS rates have been reduced even for foreign education and foreign medical expenses, which is a great step. We are also seeing one of the other major steps is that in a lot of places where there is a TAN number which is being used, they have now shifted to a PAN, especially whenever there is any kind of a purchasing of a property of a non-resident. So there were certain administrative hurdles for getting the TAN. Now they have said that you can use the PAN. As far as EODB again has been a cornerstone of all the budgets, and this budget again has not been any different. Especially here, especially for custom duty, they are planning to have a kind of a digital window for kind of cargo clearances, which will help in more seamless cargo clearances from the customs. Again, there have been a lot of rationalization of rates. So again, really looking forward for the kind of implementation of this budget, and the Goa Chamber looks forward to working with the central government and the state government to implement the schemes of the union budget.
Income Tax Act is coming into, it's a simplified act.
Yes.
So till now both acts, I think both the old edition and the new edition were enforced. But
Yes.
now I think it will be only new edition.
Absolutely.
So how it would be for common man, how it would be benefit?
Yeah. So as far as the new income tax 2025 is concerned, it's going to be it will now be implemented from the 1st of April 2026. This is more in a simplified language. So there were certain kind of languages which were a little bit more legal, more technical. They have tried to make it a much more simplified kind of a version. And now what would happen is, as the finance minister has also announced, now the forms, the returns which are applicable for the new act are now going to be implemented. So now there will be a transition from the old act to the new act, and we are really looking forward for this kind of an implementation.
GCC, those recommendations or asks of that GCC have been met.
Yeah, so the GCCI welcomes the kind of proposals, because GCCI had given recommendations to the finance ministry more on the kind of ease of doing business, more on the kind of simplicity of the kind of returns. So we are really happy that a lot of our recommendations relating to the EODB and relating to custom duties again has been taken up. We really look forward to the implementation of these.